Just so you know, Daft Monks is half talk show, half actual play campaign that features adult language and topics. Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's get to it. Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the Daft Monks podcast. Sorry for the long hiatus, but we are back, I promise you. Nate, what is on the agenda today?
No agenda today, Nate. We're just happy to be here and trying to get an episode out at least once every 9 months.
A blue moon, I think, is the accurate measurement in which we get an episode out. I don't know what that is, but that's what it feels like.
I recently went and just updated some of our stuff on the websites and the Apple Podcasts and Spotify and stuff, and then we still had the setting of weekly, and I was like, I'm gonna change that to semi-regular, which is still a big lie. But Nate, what's going on in your life? How are things?
Things couldn't be better. I'm currently just going day to day, wondering when it's all going to end. But other than that, it's going fucking great. It's just the same stuff over and over. It's, just counting the days down until the podcast make it so big, and then I don't have to do line work anymore.
Yeah, don't hold your breath, Nate.
How about you, Nate? What are you doing?
Gosh, well, I was talking all about moving, I think, before, our last episode recorded, and then I moved. That's been cool. Nice big old house. Been furnishing it, slowly, room by room.
When I first showed up to your old house, I was highly disappointed because it just looked like somewhere I would live. And I'm like, I don't think Nate's really gay.
Yeah.
He's gaslighting me. I don't know why he's doing it, but he's doing it.
I was really excited. There was that time you almost came and visited, and you did technically,
yep.
but I remember distinctly. I'm gonna give you a little bit of shit because the night before you're like, "Oh, we'll swing by tomorrow." I was like, "Cool," and then I wake up at maybe something reasonable time, 8 or 9. You're like, "Yeah, I came by at 7. You weren't here. We left." And I was like, "What? You didn't tell me you were coming at 7 a.m. You gave me no indication when you would be here." But it wasn't great anyway. We had his cousins visiting and kids and stuff. It's hilarious that you drove by. I was like, yeah, it lives here. Bye.
I think more than anything, Megan just wanted to see the house. She's like, yep, saw it. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough for me, I guess.
Yeah.
My friend's in there asleep, but okay.
Yeah. It was great, but no, it's perfect us fashion, good intentions, but zero
no prep whatsoever.
Yeah. But no, I miss you, bro. I'm so glad to be recording again. I hear you. Adulthood just keeps on keeping on.
Yep, it's like a semi that's just moving, but I was trying to hang on and I fell off, but now a rope wrapped around my ankle and now it's just dragging me behind.
That's got to be in one of our 80s movies. I feel like there's got to be one where he's
I'm sure it was in every fucking 80s movie. I had the kids watch Maximum Overdrive. I forgot how much gore is in that movie. What a fucking mistake that was. Corbin thought it was hilarious, but Roscoe was not prepared for the baseball scene when there's little leaguers out there playing ball and a fucking steamroller comes over the fence and just runs them over. So I tried remedying the situation really quick, and I'm like, well, the grass was soft, Roscoe, so he probably survived. And immediately after, Corbin was like, nope, he's dead.
Corbin's exactly 236 bones were crushed. He's the worst person to try to talk your child out of trauma.
Oh yeah, it was awful, but we finished it. It was good.
That's great. Look forward to hearing about the therapy sessions that come later.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to happen. What can you do? He'll turn it into some kind of weird sense of humor and then make people laugh, but on the inside he's crying. So
that's a mood right there.
Yeah.
As the children would say. That's a vibe.
Before he got ran over by a steamroller.
Anyway, Nate, so many things came and went while we were on hiatus. The Avatar live action series was one of them. I don't know if we got to talk about that.
No, it wasn't bad. The only thing I was disappointed in was the casting. But, it's a new day and age.
The only thing I hated was the people in every single episode. Otherwise, it was great.
Other than that, fucking awesome.
Fat May.
Yep.
We're not fat phobic, but May throws daggers. She's tall and lanky, which is a reflection of her fighting style. Whereas like Ty Lee, right, is like dainty and flowery and does acrobatics.
Yep.
Because that like aligns with whatever style martial arts she does. May wasn't fat for a reason. It didn't like match her like aesthetic or whatever. Like I don't mind fat characters. It just, it'd be like making Aang a 58-year-old man. Like he acts the way he does because he's a child. Like, May is agile and negative. Like she's barely engaged with life. I'm sure she doesn't even care for food.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I mean, that's obviously the most like extreme, but with the casting, there's just a lot of things where I'm like, I don't hate it. I just
right. I don't see where they went with it. Like you said, like she has a very like sly, like stab you in the back kind of
and she's
thing.
like she smiles at times.
Yes.
And I'm just like, this isn't her at all.
Disgusting. It's like, stop it.
I will say, like, really loved that they casted a lot of like Pacific Islanders, like a lot of like, Asian, like that part was awesome.
Yep.
The good news is, right, it doesn't take 17 dance moves to move a pebble. Like,
yes. And like you said, with casting different types of people, M. Night Shyamalan went the total opposite route. Like, this isn't even fucking close. Like, what are we doing here?
There's like literally like those like knockoff movies that are the same
plot
as like actual movies.
That's exactly what it was.
Persona, the last like wind fighter, I would be like, yeah, that works. Anything else you want to talk about, Nate? Like the Mad Max movie? I don't know if you saw that. I thought that was good.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that. The only thing I've been watching a lot lately are these really weird horror movies, but it's by the same producers. So they did one called Spring, and then one called like The Endless, and it's these two dudes. It's not that interesting to actually bring up their names and shit, but like I've been getting really into them because they're more cerebral.
Are any of them related, or they're just by the same creators and just different?
Just by the same creators, and then they use a lot of the same actors in each one. So we watched like two back to back. I forget what the one was, the name of it, but it was basically just this guy's girlfriend left him alone in his house, and she's been gone for a month. But then every night at midnight, a monster attacks him. And then, like how I say it's cerebral, she comes back, and then the whole rest of the movie is them just working out their relationship. And they get to a good point where he's singing karaoke, and in the middle of his fucking song, the monster breaks in and attacks him. Man, I was laughing so bad. It jump scared me, but then I was laughing because we completely forgot about the monster for at least 35 fucking minutes. And then that monster was like, hey, motherfucker, I'm still around. Bam.
I mean, you have such a good way of like putting a fun comedic like spin on everything. Like, I wonder if that's like just really out there if I tried to watch it, or if I would like find the same like value and like entertainment out of it.
Probably not, because I like some weird ones, and I'm more of a diamond in the rough kind of guy when it comes to horror movies. So like I like the redeeming qualities of it. But The Endless, you might like that one because that one's very Call of Cthulhu style. Spring, that one was. I don't think you would like that one because I'll go ahead and ruin
Let's be
everything.
honest, I'm not going to watch this.
You're not going to watch it. But if we're talking about Spring, so here's this guy. He's down on his luck. His dad dies. Oh, man, that sucks. And then we start the movie with his mom dying of cancer. And then she dies immediately, the first 3 minutes of the movie. So he's like, oh, man, I got nothing left. So then he defends himself in a bar fight from a guy who's being a real dick and beats the shit out of him. And then come to find out that guy is actually a pussy too, because he follows him to his house and then calls the cops on him to press charges. So this guy, down on his luck, is like, I'm going to have to leave town. But instead of just leaving town, he leaves the country. He's going to Italy because white people love Italy for some reason. And they even mention that in the show. So he goes to Italy. He does something that I would never do in my entire life, where he meets two random strangers and they're like, hey, we're going to go to this small coastal town. You want to come with us? And he's like, fuck yeah, new best friends. So then they drive and do drugs together with two fucking strangers. It's a great time for him. He meets a lovely lady. Turns out she's an immortal monster, but he doesn't care anyways. He's going to make her fall in love with him.
Tales all this time.
Yep. Seen it once. You've seen it 1,000 fucking times. So throughout the story, he doesn't know she's a monster yet, but then we get there. She has to inject herself. She's doing all kinds of weird fucking shit. And then they do a backstory where the backstory is not bad on the monster. She's just an immortal broad from like Pompeii fucking days. And for some reason, she has something wrong with her. where she gets pregnant and then her body absorbs the unborn child, and then she can keep living by replacing her cells. And only if she falls in love, Nate, will the immortality stop, because she figured it out or some shit. And so it won't eat the baby cells, it'll eat her cells. And then she'll just have a normal life from here on out. And then we get to the end of the movie and they fall in love. And now they're just two mortal people, even though the bitch totally committed a murder by chopping a guy's dick off back in the small coastal town. But they're just going to live their best fucking life from here on out, you know? So that was pretty much the movie. Spring, check it out.
We love a happy ending.
They were in love. It was the best ending.
Amazing. I love your summaries of these movies better than the movies.
I'm all you need.
Let's dive in. Do you kind of remember what we said we would do this episode?
Yeah,
maybe?
I got it on. I had it on WhatsApp.
Yeah. Study guide.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this in, guys. Like this is we have a 3 text back and forth conversation that will essentially be our outline.
Yes.
And then we won't do any of it anyways.
Oh no, I'll follow the first 2 sentences and then we'll get off the rails.
I knew from the very first time where I gave you like a 3-bullet like line for our Patreon promotion video, which is only like 90 seconds. I asked you to say 3 things, and it was literally like those skits where you were like, you said what number 1 and number 3, but not number 2, or you do like number 1, number 2, or you would say none of them, but you could not possibly just say the 3 things I wanted you to say.
It was so like, hard.
It's only $1, something else, and you just and like you melted down.
Yeah.
Like, the more I asked you, I was like, the more you just like. Yeah. I think I ended up then we just recorded you going on a rant about why you couldn't remember the 3 bullets, and then I just put that up.
Yeah, it was on the Patreon. It was great.
Classic.
I would never do commercials. Like, they'd want to direct me, and I'd be like, I do one thing and one thing only, and that's fucking wing it.
It's like when an immovable object collides with an unstoppable force, and the immovable object is the script, and the unstoppable force is anything you do while on recording.
I suck. Are you going to do the conspiracy board thing?
I don't know if you've noticed in the previous episodes, it's very heavily edited because I'm like, we're trying to remember what happened.
Right.
And it sounds really horrible. So then it's like me like piecing every third
Chopped
word together, and it sounds bullshit. But
It sounds like chapped.
I forgot. That never aired, Nate. We have that. I have that in the archive, and that's a bit from an episode we never aired, which is hilarious.
Chapped.
The Batman match game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I have it. And that was right before we never recorded again after that. It was another one of those episodes that pushed you over the limit and you were done. I'm going to dig that up, man. I'll send that to you. I'll go find it.
Contestant number 3. Meow. Okay, I know who this fucking bitch is.
Daft Monks, hey, Phantom in the machine, hey, disconnect the screen, yeah, we trapped in the regime, we don't recognize the world, this reality's a dream, they've been watching from the citadel, so we can never leave, no. Daft Monks in another paradigm, cybernetic state of mind, another state of mind, rocking with them Daft Monks, let's take a deep dive, taking over circus, it's the code we gotta live by, yeah, we the Daft Monks, hey, living as an avatar, healing up my battle scars. Corruption left the planet dark. So we plugged in like we had to charge.
Last time on Daft Monks, we go for a joyride and pick up Ash's truck. I think it's cool, but then I realize that's not his vehicle, and actually he uses an earthbound truck that looks pretty beat up, but he's pretty proud about it. We go and meet Pam, or was her name something else? I think we constantly oscillate between 2 names, but that's fine. Unfortunately, it's not long before we drive over her body and realize she's already been found by none other than Midas Underbite.
Russian assassin.
Why are they always Russian? Why?
Because you do great women Russian voices.
This is the only persona I can do.
Midas Underbite, the headhunter tasked by Beacon Group to find Ash and Roy. We escape by the skin of our teeth, but also mostly from the help of a mysterious entity called Dante. No, Inferno, as in Dante's Inferno. We're very creative here. We narrowly escape, but sadly, Ash's truck is in disarray. What does it all mean?
Look, Roy, how far is it to this fucking place? Because I don't know how much more I can take of this. At one point, you were starting to throw pieces of my truck at that large woman, and I needed those pieces. Roy, I paid money for those pieces on my truck, and you threw them at that lady. Like, I appreciate what you were doing.
It sounds like you're not appreciating it. I'm sorry I threw your tools that you're bizarrely referring to as pieces right now.
Well, they were part of the truck, and they were individual pieces because each tool is a piece that costs money. And between this stress, and I'm pretty sure the truck's leaning to the left a little bit because I've been pulling the steering wheel hard right for the last half mile. When's our fucking exit ramp? That's all I'm asking you. You're looking at the map. Where are we going?
I'm using some kind of like, I don't know, it's like a holographic plate that is a map somehow that's interactive, but it's like, obviously we don't have the HoloWatch or any other technology infotainment center. We don't even have fucking like Apple CarPlay or Android.
It's a cassette player with the fucking cord coming out of it to plug a CD player into it.
Yeah. And as basically Roy's looking at this thing, kind of like zooming in, zooming out, he pretty much clearly doesn't know. And then as we hear that, you hear like a loud thud. A large like cloud of black smoke comes from the front of the vehicle. There's no hood on it, really, so we can literally just see it coming out from the engine. And the car starts to slow down. And I'm like, I think it's this next exit, Ash.
I just start hitting my head on the steering wheel. And then slowly drift over. I'm hitting the accelerator, but it's not doing anything, and we're coasting off the exit ramp.
Hey, at least we got this like sweet new sunroof to stay cool.
Yeah, that's a great accessory that we have, Roy. That is really cheering me up. Thank you for that.
I just imagine cars are like driving by us and staring, but they don't stop. Listen, Ash, I know you're frustrated, but there's not exactly a fucking Inferno pin on this map, okay? Like, how do you even know where we're going or, like, that this is the correct direction?
I don't fucking know. He sent that email, man. And, oh, hold on. No, this is the right place. And then, like, he looks over at the exit sign, and there's a small, like, little fire on it. And I'm like, I'm sure that's fucking it.
You know the airport icon? It's like planes or, like, a parking garage has, like, the structure. Like, there's just, like, a fire icon.
Like, that time I still got lost trying to follow directions at the casino.
But, like, literally, it was either pull to the very front of the building or go inside a building, and you somehow ended up doing the other one.
Okay, Roy, the sign is clearly saying this way, so I think we should go the other way. No, seriously.
And I'm still confused. Is this guy related to Dante? Is he Dante? Why is he going by a new name? He sounded just like Dante. But I also saw that video where he kept saying he was dead over and over again.
Well, you get this a lot in the jingle business, Roy.
One of these days, I want to learn more about your jingle business.
All right, so anyways.
Okay, so as we coast off the exit, and then I want to say it's like some random, like, you know, Casa Grande in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's just like a gas station, if gas is even still a thing, which it is for your truck. And then there's like a warehouse, like way down the road. And I'm like, do you think it's that building?
I hope so, because either way, we're gonna have to stop because I'm getting little lights on my dashboard here that I've never fucking seen before. I didn't even know they existed. So
I just want to imagine for a sec, because if we recall now, both your front windshield is gone,
Mm-hmm.
your back rear view windshield is gone,
Mm-hmm.
the hood of your car was ripped off.
Yep.
There is like a can opener round circle cut out on like the roof of your car.
Sounds accurate.
I think like they literally, your thing barely looks like a vehicle anymore, and you're still like relying on the check engine light in your vehicle to say that something's wrong.
I'm a simple man, Roy, okay? When something tells me it's wrong, I acknowledge it. And this blinking light right here with the skull and crossbones, I swear they don't really come with that, but that is what's flashing right now on my dash.
All right, so I want to say it like stops as we get close to the gas station. So obviously we don't make it all the way to the warehouse, but we're like, okay, well, like maybe we could. Is it out of gas or is this shit just like done?
Yeah, let's just park it here at the gas station. I throw it in park.
Park it.
Okay. We hop out, and then the fucking tires fall off of it. And then I get down on my knees in the sand, and then lay down belly first now in the sand. And I'm basically doing face down snow angels just in the dirt, tears welling up in my eyes.
It's just a truck, Ash. It's going to be okay. And then I look over and I'm like, oh, you want snacks?
Out of the gas station, an elderly gentleman comes out. Oh, hello, boys. We don't get much visitors around here. Oh, dear. That truck seems like it's seen some better days. Yes, thank you. What's your friend doing laying in the dirt there?
Oh, he's just been through a rough morning, we'll call it. Listen, I know this will sound a little absurd, but truck aside, we probably could use a tow. But even more importantly, we're looking for some person who goes by the moniker Inferno. Does that ring any bells?
Oh, you're going to have to speak up just a little bit louder. I can't hear that well, you see. My robotic implants took a shit.
Also, I know I'm not just like you have only one. Like I only have Russian female voice. Your one old man is already giving me flashbacks to that town we were in. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
For the 2-part Call of Cthulhu episode.
The priest. I still hear you.
I can't not see that guy. That's fine.
It's the same guy. We have the movies I was talking about. We have the same actors in all of our movies. It's the same old man, just different costume.
Anyway, I'm like, I get closer to him, and then like this time I can see like a really silly device on like one side of his head, so I assume that's the one with like the hearing aid. And I'm like, we're looking for somebody named we're looking for somebody named Inferno or a tow. Can you help us? And I'm also signing for some reason.
Well, you don't have to talk to me like I'm an idiot. I can hear you perfectly fine. Now, if you're looking for Inferno, his real name's Ryan. He lives in that building over there. He's my grandson. He doesn't get out much.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's really helpful, Ryan's grandfather. Thank you.
Well, you better not call him Ryan. He'll have a fucking conniption. Why, just last night I said, Ryan, come in for dinner, and he started yelling at me saying, fuck you, old man. You know my name's Inferno. And I said, I'm so confused, Ryan. Where did we go wrong?
I look over and you're just already walking. Ash is just like halfway down the road. Like, well, thank you very much. This has been very helpful. I hand him my like gummy bears that I got from the gas station, and I'm like, could you just keep an eye on our truck for us? We're gonna come back for that for sure.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and call you a tow.
Wow, we cannot be any more grateful. We will find a way to compensate you that is probably not in a monetary fashion.
That's fine. I'm used to it. Inferno doesn't pay for shit around here.
Like I've already walked.
He's just talking to himself now. God, I don't know where I went wrong with that boy.
Anyway, so Roy does his like corporate jog thing where he like comes up and then slows his pace. He's like, man, that's amazing luck, isn't that? His grandfather, what a sweet old man.
Oh yeah, Roy, that's the first thing that I noticed when my truck fell apart is like, what a nice elderly gentleman is greeting us here at this decrepit gas station in the middle of fucking nowhere. That's the first thing I thought.
Roy gets in front of you, like walks in front of you and stops, and he's like, listen, we need to clear the negativity here. I know you're frustrated about that truck. It was a piece of shit. And now it's even worse, and I'm sorry. We're going to fix it. The old man's calling a tow, but right now, we need to do a jingle. We need to get you back on track because I'm not going to live like this. Okay. We got everybody against us. All we got is each other. And now you're literally just tearing us down. It's not cool.
All right. Yep. You're right. We got other things to worry about than my truck, which I loved. And now that I'm looking back at it, the old man sitting in it and pretending to drive. That's
Like his hands up,
Yeah.
like he's like pretending to steer the wheel.
The steering wheel falls off, and he's like, "Oh!" Tries putting it back. I'm like, "Oh." You're right, Roy. You're right. It's just a truck at this point. It's just a heap of metal. Let's move on. All right.
Thanks, Ash.
You're welcome. After I said piece of shit, the old man's like, "Are you guys talking about Ryan?" Yeah, I think so too.
Like, why can't we hear him so well? We're already like 3/4 of a mile.
He's got a megaphone out.
This is how I get Ryan to come home for dinner. I'm lonely.
So flash forward, we get to this building. It looks like a Funko Pop warehouse, which they have one of those in Buckeye, by the way. Fun fact. I've not gone, but I'm like, you have nothing here except one karaoke bar and a Funko Pop warehouse. Anywho, this place is like, despite being in the middle of nowhere, you'd expect it to be like nondescript, kind of just concrete, but it looks like an Alice in Wonderland, like anime explosion blew up. Like, it is using like neon colors. It has like Japanese or other foreign, seemingly Asian characters all over it. And it just like has like posters of stuff on the outside. It makes no sense. It's very flamboyant, very animated. It almost looks like an old Disney attraction out in the middle of nowhere.
Ooh. Well, I know this is the first time I'm telling you this, Roy, but when people have this weird anime cyberpunk aesthetic in the times nowadays, it's cheap. You know, it's fucking cheap.
That's the Ash I know. I'm glad you're feeling better, buddy.
All right, let's go inside. Don't knock over any of his dolls.
Yeah, I want to say, so we open it and immediately there's like two like knockoff like pocket monster like statues that just look absolutely ridiculous. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that like maybe we recognize the pop culture it's referencing, we'd be like, this is a phallus with like giant anime eyes. Like, you know,
Yeah. One of those pillows with the boobs.
Yeah, definitely. There's like a gift shop. Like, why is there a gift shop here? Nobody's coming here. And it's just like, it's like little like cartoon flames and stuff. It's like, this guy's got an entire franchise, Ash. This is wild. If we could do this with the podcast, I mean, with anything.
Oh, then it would be great, I know. But, like, where is he? Like, and are we just going to keep following this maze? Or, like, how long before he... And then the lights go out?
Welcome, travelers.
Oh, my God, Roy. I'm going back to the truck.
Yeah. You start to turn around, but then you hear, like, the distinct click of the locks.
You're not going anywhere yet. Welcome. I am...
Ryan, we know your grandfather told us.
No, don't you call me that. I am Inferno. That is my moniker. That is what I go by. Now, come into my lair.
He calls it a lair, Roy. I'm not going in there.
Listen, we got to, all right? One, he saved our life. We owe him a thank you at the bare minimum. But also, we need an ally. If you've noticed, things are not going well. And the last ally I had nail tech sticking out of her chest that you drove further into her chest by riding your vehicle on top of her. The least we can do is hear this guy out.
That's true. And it was like her birthday, right? That's awful. You know, you got to look at these things like glass half full, you know? At least I'm not getting murdered on my birthday.
Yeah, at least she's not making you warm her banana in your throat or whatever that scenario was.
Are you guys coming or not?
Sorry, yes. Which of the many doors do we take? There's one that says fate, one that says destiny, and one that says girlfriends.
Don't go in the girlfriends one. That's private. Come into the destiny one, please.
He's nervous. If you could hear sweating on a PA system, we'd be hearing it.
was like, well, that doesn't sound suspicious at all. And I just keep walking towards the destiny door, and it just you hear the like whatever futuristic like airlock doors like unseal, and a bright light like kind of blinds us for a moment, and then we look and we're like, whoa,
This guy has a lot of money, Roy.
and a lot of free time, Ash.
Yes, I can tell. I've seen this before in The Matrix when they're like loading up all their gear. Like, why do you need white fluorescent lights on the floor and the walls and the ceiling? Like, what are you hiding in there? Are you keeping cockroaches out? This looks like the kind of person who has cockroaches, Roy.
It's just wasteful, Ash, you know? Like, this money could be invested in actual, real positive change for people. We could be improving the environment, or, like, you know, clearing the oceans, or at least the, you know, the lake over by the piers that we were at, like, 9 months ago. But actually, canonically, like, 90 minutes ago.
I can hear you guys. I'm sitting right here.
Sorry. It's a lot to take in, Ryan. I mean, Inferno.
Inferno!
Yes, listen, where are you? I can't even see you. There's so much like fluorescent lighting going on, and like my eyes kind of hurt. Like, where are you?
I am here.
And he spins around in a chair.
And what does he look like?
I'm going to say he's approximately 5 foot tall, maybe 240 pounds of greasiness. It's your typical cliche Reddit moderator, as Corbin would say. Neck beard, pimple line. He looks rough.
Oof.
Yeah, did you smell that when we walked in here, Roy?
Yeah. Like when he spun the chair, like it like wafted, or like a gust of wind.
It was like Doritos and hot dogs just right in your face.
See, if he had just spent some of the money instead of on this fluorescent lighting and all of the equipment on, you know, basic hygiene, maybe like shower tech.
Let me get straight to why you're here. You can stop right there. I'll let you know. You may be wondering why I saved your lives. 'Cause I did.
Nope, wasn't wondering.
Yeah, you were. I could see it in your eyes.
All right, carry on.
Now, I need you guys to look at this.
And he starts playing a tape, a video hologram, and it's the same morning that I was walking briskly to work, and there's a car accident, and then a car clips another car into a van, and there's an explosion, and I've seen it before. Roy, have you seen this before? This was the morning I was walking to work.
Looks like a really bad car accident, guys. I don't know. This is why it's probably not safe to take land-bound, earthbound vehicles. But also, could you play that again, but like slower?
You got it. Now,
He rewinds it, and he starts showing the clip again, but now he's explaining it as he's going.
you may be wondering why I'm showing you this. This is where Dante was murdered.
Who's that?
He was my predecessor. He taught me everything I knew. He was like a Jedi, and I'm his Padawan kind of deal.
Oh, you met him.
No, I never met him face to face. We talked on message boards a lot.
Oh, okay. So your mentor of sorts.
Uh-huh.
He's the guy with the bus? The bus that's on fire? He's in the bus?
No, he was in the van that rolled over and then burst into flames. And then you could see a person screaming for help. But then there's like one guy on the sidewalk just yelling at him. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah, that's awful.
At this point, does Ash at least recognize himself in that video?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He sees himself. He knows he's the guy yelling, but he's not going to admit to any of that.
I'm going to say Roy doesn't realize that's Ash because it's like kind of pixelated.
Yeah.
But he's like, okay, well, I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. But I mean, that bus is the reason that, you know, he crashed into a bus, like, or the bus crashed into his van. Like, what are we going to do? Like,
You may think that to the common man, but let me zoom in and slow down and rewind and do all these things.
And he starts clicking away at the keyboard.
and it cuts to, I'll describe it. It kind of cuts to this vehicle that's like swerving into it, and you eventually see that it like obviously makes the bus like pull like swerve out of the way and then hit the van and flip over and all that jazz. But at one moment I'm like, hey, right there, freeze. And he pauses, and you don't see who's driving the vehicle, and it's too pixelated to see the license plate. But like when the vehicle that like caused this whole accident swerves a little bit, you can see somebody's hollow watch. Like you just see their wrist in the window, and then you see a hollow watch, and then on it has the like how to find the parking garage.
Yeah.
And like very distinctly for some reason, like that part is very clear. And that's when it clicks just in Roy's head right now. That was like, oh, but he goes like, oh, that was very unfortunate.
Now, I follow a lot of the conspiracy theory stuff. I know you do. Thank you. That car looks like an unmarked corp car, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yep.
You agree?
Yes, you've never been more right.
Oh.
Ever, Ash.
Oh, yes. My training is paying off.
That is exactly why I'm showing you guys this. My mentor, Dante, was killed by a corpo assassin, and I fear I may be next. So I'm doing everything in my power to stop these corpses, you know, and you guys are really on to something with what you're doing. And I was told in a message from Dante that they had something, the corpse had something that was going to bring an end to civilization itself. Sometimes he was a little dramatic, you know, but what can you do? He's my guy.
I look around at like the little, like it's giving me very like It's a Small World ride with like little animatronic like boyfriends and girlfriends, and like Dante's just doing like dances and stuff, and I'm like, yes, Dante was the dramatic one for sure.
Exactly.
Listen, okay, you're 100% right. That had to be a corporate assassin. In fact, we just came from an attack from none other than Midas Underbite.
The Russian assassin woman?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't speak, but we're just kind of assuming at this point.
Oh, man, I follow her on the gram, and, man, there is something about her, that big, strong woman that could easily manhandle me. Oh, I'm a little bit jealous that you guys got to see her face to face. I've only ever seen her on, you know, the internet.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, especially the way she literally tore apart my comrade's vehicle.
Ah, tell me some more about it.
Are you touching your nipples?
Oh, no, sorry, I lost train of thought. Now, the reason I really brought you here is I need your guys' help. We need to track down who was this assassin in this car.
Now, Ryan, hear me
Inferno!
out. Sorry, Inferno. And I like spin his chair away from like the keyboard that he's using to like, I'm like, listen, who it was doesn't matter. They're just another cog in the corporate scheme. We have to figure out the bigger picture, right? We need to stay focused. What was this thing Dante was investigating? It doesn't matter who drove that vehicle, what time, or, you know, if they were an employee of any specific organization or even a supervisor of Synergy. None of that matters at all, Inferno. What matters is something horrible is going to happen if we don't figure out what Beacon Group is up to.
I'm telling you, this was a hit. A very professional job by the looks of it. This assassin knew exactly what they were doing, clipping Dante like that and then causing the explosion, and then they were gone in the flash of an eye. Any other person would have been confused by the explosions, but not this person. A legitimate professional just kept driving away.
Yeah. Or maybe he was just lost. Anyway, Roy starts sharing the files that they pulled from the nail tech salon. He basically talks about this whole scheme where they're using corpses from the suicide machines to basically feed people. This is just the tip of the iceberg, Inferno. We need to know what's going on. Something big's coming, and just then a commercial for the Paradigm Gang comes on the screen, and I'll leave that to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year again for the Paradigm Games. Some of the best corporations in the town of Beacon are gathering now as we speak, selecting their top candidates for these Paradigm Games. Big surprises this year, and remember, you have to have the new style VR lens headset in order to access these Paradigm Games. Without the lens, you will not see the games. Please stay tuned for more. We have information hourly on the Paradigm Games.
Oh, god damn it. They make these things so hard to view. Where are we going to get one of those VR lenses?
I'm not buying one, Roy. They look fucking dangerous. I heard they start fires. Ryan starts pulling out some papers from his desk.
I have to show you guys this. This is on the new lens that they're giving out to people. Obviously, you have to buy it, but you have to have this version to watch the Paradigm Games. This is the information that Dante died for, and he gave it to me, his best and only friend, because we were friends, you know.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you know if he had other friends?
No,
Like-
he didn't. I'm sure of it. Now, it turns out these lenses have built-in software that causes them to ignite when a series is entered into them.
Why would they build a product that intentionally combusts?
See, and that's what me and Dante were talking about. Many long nights, me and Dante would chat together, not with a video camera or anything like that, just, you know, via text. But it was
It cuts to like his screen where it's like Ryan is like they're like saying all these theories through like a text like chat interface, and then Inferno's like, yeah, like one word answers, like kind of like my text to your text to me. You're like, yeah, that's funny, like lol, just lol.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Now on this one where he said sounds good, that is where it gets good. Now I am thinking that the corporations in Beacon, we have an overpopulation issue. Everyone knows that. There's too many people. I'm thinking that these corporations are trying to get the public to wear these lens devices, and all at once they will ignite a good portion of them. And then obviously they'll have insurance on it, and they'll make a pretty penny.
Oh my god, that's positively sinister.
A genocide, some might say. And worse, they may be in conjunction with the crab people. Ash is like, I fucking knew it. I knew it, Roy. I told you there's crab people, and they're working for the corporations.
Oh wow, we have to get this to Proxy. We have to get this out to the people. If this is true, not the crab people stuff, because that's bullshit. Like, how are we gonna let an entire city know not to tune in to the most highly anticipated event of the season?
With the way the population is, there's nothing that would get through to these people except a miracle and maybe a catchy jingle.
Oh my god. Ash, he's wrong about some of it, but he's also right. People are going to watch the game no matter what. We have to get on the Paradigm Games. That's the only way we could tell people to take the VR off. If we any way, like the Paradigm Games is the answer.
I guess you're right, but is he right about the jingle? I don't know if I could handle that kind of pressure. A jingle that'll be heard by the masses.
This is what you've been working towards. Everything is built up to this.
Oh my god, you're right. And with that jingle, I'd have enough money to fix my truck.
Or get a new one. All right, this is all going to work. All we got to do, let's call Proxy up right now and let her know our plan. Maybe she can help too.
Oh, perfect. Ring her up on your thing. I don't have a thing.
I mean, I don't have one either. Brian, can you call this number?
You.
Inferno.
Thank you. Now, I will. But it's not long distance, is it? We have like a minute plan out here, and it eats up the minutes.
Well, if you spent less on fluorescent lights, you could afford a long-distance call. Just dial the number. Jesus.
He just dials the number while just making eye contact with you. That's how accurate he is on the keyboard.
So he has this whole set up with screens and whatnot, and it's ringing and it no answer. And you're like, huh, that's weird. She's not answering that private number that she gave us.
Yeah, that was her.
Ash.
That was her direct line. She always answers that first ring, no matter what. I'm honestly a little worried now, Roy. We need to get back to the apartment and see if we can track her down.
Yeah, or better yet, Inferno. Do you ever spy on women?
Honestly?
Don't answer that. Can you pull up the security footages from her apartment? This is the address.
It's the next tab over. It's already open. All right, let me just type in the address. And he's hacked into all the security cams or CCTV of the fucking city. And then it zooms in on the apartment door of her address.
Why is it ajar? Does she typically leave her door open? She seemed like a very secure, kind of careful person.
No, never. There's something very odd about this right now.
Inferno, we need to see inside the apartment. Can you?
Oh, that gets a little bit trickier. Hold on. I'll hack into one of her lens devices. This might take me some time. I won't have it just... Okay, there it is. Got it.
Roy leans over to Ash. He's like, hey, this guy is a real creep.
I know. But man, I bet he's awesome on the conspiracy boards.
Roy just shakes his head.
He knew about
and
the
it's like,
crab people.
Yes, the crab people. The old man.
I remember crab apples. Delicious. That's not what we were talking about, Grandpa. What? You boys want some crab apples? I'll be back. So he hacks it into Proxy's lens, and now we have a camera feed from the inside of her living room.
There, stop. And to our dismay, we see Midas Underbite break into her apartment and sneak up behind her and subdue her and drag her out.
Oh no, Roy, man. Oh, I feel sick to my stomach. Who was that with her?
You know who that is. It's the same person who absolutely decimated your vehicle.
Well, no, not the large Russian woman. And then standing next to the large Russian woman was this Borg now that has the lower extremities of a robot, so just robot legs and a robot torso, and he looks like he's grimacing in pain. And then Roy immediately recognizes it as Greg from The Office.
Oh my god. But that couldn't be him, could it? And then it cuts to him doing something very classic.
It goes 2 seconds later, and as they're leaving, Greg turns around and then takes a big bite of some birthday cake, of Cheryl's birthday cake. And then just kind of goes down his esophagus and then plops onto Proxy's floor. And he just keeps walking.
Oh my god, Greg, what did they do to you? And how could you be even more of a monster than you were as a regular person?
Wait, that's the guy from your office?
Yeah, that's my nemesis. His name's Greg.
I can see why you hated him. The dude's a Borg motherfucker.
No, he wasn't always like that. I mean, he kind of bullied me, Ash, if I'm being really honest.
We'll make sure that he pays as well, but we need to fucking rescue Proxy. Ryan, is there any way that you can track where they went from here? We need info. We need to know where she fucking went.
Yeah, give me a second. Hold on.
And then we go back to the CCTV at around the same time frame, and then just see him get into this expensive Corpo car and then take off.
Gunco! Fun creators of preschool guns. Is your preschooler living in a rough neighborhood? Then make sure they're packing a Gunco in their play school lunchbox. Gunco, proud distributors of preschool guns everywhere.
So you're gonna need an ID to record in here.
Get the fuck off of me! I have rights! Gunco rights! Every preschooler should be armed!
And it fades out. Nate, it's so good to be back.
Oh, I know. I had a blast.
Good times. I look forward to cobbling this together into a coherent episode that may or may not air in the next 9 months.
And I can't wait to listen to it within that 9 months and then judge us on it.
I'd expect nothing less, Nate.
Nothing but the best from me.
Man, I don't even remember our call to actions for listeners. If you're still listening, first off, wow. Thank
you.
Clearly, we don't deserve your patronage, but we really appreciate it. We are back, hopefully, but more often than 9 months, but definitely not weekly or possibly even monthly. But we're going to get episodes out, and we're going to finish this story.
Yep, because we care about you. Not really.
Just like right-wing conservatives care about preschoolers.
They should all be armed.
Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you
sometime
not next week, but eventually.
Eventually.
Good night.
Bye.
Congratulations, you've survived another episode of Daft Monks. Did you enjoy the episode? Do you love the show? Do you want to pay for our dental plan? If so, I think it's only fair that you show Nat One some love in return. No, not that kind of love. Please, put it away. Oh, I meant follow us on our social medias and all that good stuff. Simply click the links in the episode description to follow us on our Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, or click support our show to make a monthly contribution to help pay for all the expensive software Nate subscribes to
And don't worry, other Nate will see the money eventually as it grows, but not anytime soon. I promise. Lastly, do you want even more Nat 1 goodness? Of course you do. Who wouldn't? Then click the prequel podcast link to listen to our experimental first season of podcasting for 50 plus more episodes of conspiracy theories, messy one-shot campaigns, and of course, all of your favorite Nat 1 hijinks. Now, thank you a ton, and we will talk to you next week.